All right, here we are, back at it again. Episode number 2, the Swirly Boiz Podcast. I'm G2 Jake. This is...
your boy, Toilet Jenkins, back out here.
Nice. It's been too long. I forget how to do this.
Yeah.
I felt like I was a seasoned pro after episode 1.
Yeah, I was moving. Took me a bit to get the new place set up and get a spot going that I could record in here.
Nice. Are you you're saying you're not in the bathroom?
No. You know, I thought about going in the bathroom, but I don't know how the acoustics are in there, you know. We'll have to
As long as you got the mic rocking, I think it'll work, but
maybe we'll give it a shot for week 3.
Yeah. No, don't give it that weekly.
Well,
title.
episode 3. Whatever you want to call
it. That's right. So, this week we actually have a little bit of a topic to talk about. Of course, we'll do a little bit of BSing, talking about fantasy football most likely. And apparently you want to rap battle me, so maybe we'll talk about that. But we're going to be talking about a little bit about why there's no money in yo-yoing. Is that the right way to phrase it?
I don't know. Yeah, that might be a good way.
Because then money comes for sponsorship, and that's what we're rolling into.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess we'll start it off with professional players basically make no money unless your signature yo-yos are selling a boatload, because then you get royalties from that.
So that's how they would make their money, right?
Yes, and get travel and whatnot covered. And that's only not even the 1% of what I would consider professional yo-yoers.
Yeah, the upper tier.
Mm-hmm. So basically, even when you win a contest, unless it is a very small number of contests, you're basically getting nothing. You're getting prizes as far as goods that were donated from the brands that sponsor the contest. And usually you'll see people just throw those up directly on the BST, not even played at all. If you're a high-level player, in my opinion, and you're winning contests, you really don't want yo-yos.
Yeah, that probably makes sense. But I guess if they're throwing them right up on the BST, that's a way for them to just turn it into some cash. It's a little bit of added work. Obviously, instead of just having a straight up cash prize, but
I'm all about the cash prize.
Yeah.
Give them the cash. I've had contests that I've tried to give cash to sponsor, and they have turned it down. So it just comes down to the organizer, I guess, and then whatever the rules are for that contest. I forget. There's some international contest, there's some issue with prize money that you're not allowed to give it, and then most of the time it's just a lot of yo-yo brands, when they sponsor a contest, don't want to give money. They'd rather give product because it's cheaper for them that way.
Yeah, I guess I didn't think of it that way.
And you don't get a lot of value out of sponsoring a contest.
From the sponsor.
So you can't look at it like that. You can't look at it like, I'm going to send this contest $300. Is that going to generate any sales? You just have to, it's growing the community in sport, which then generates sales or turns into sales. You're not going to get direct sales most likely from that contest, but the better the hobby and community does, the better your sales are going to do, and that's the way I look at it.
I think also, people go to contests, they see which companies are out here sponsoring multiple contests and which companies aren't.
Do you look at that?
Somewhat, yeah. I mean, if I...
So you go to Massachusetts States and you see X isn't sponsoring the contest, you're not going to buy something from them?
My buying habits are kind of weird, but...
But you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Do you know anybody else or anybody that's doing that? I don't think anybody's doing that.
I don't know. I feel like maybe there's some people out there that are like, hey, this company does a lot. They sponsor a lot of contests. They do X, Y, and Z for the community, so I want to support them. It improves the brand image, maybe.
Okay. No, I see that a little bit. I just don't see people going to Ohio State and seeing OG Squared sponsoring. I'm going to buy something from them next week. You know what I mean?
Right.
When there's actually 12 other sponsors on that banner. I don't know. I don't. When I sponsor a contest, it comes down to how professional the presentation is when they asked for whatever it is they asked for, whether it's goods or money. So if it's just somebody usually that says, so I have X amount of budget, we'll just say, okay, I've got $3,000 this year to spend on sponsoring contests. And if somebody sends me a nice list of like a PDF and it says what the tiers for their sponsorship, gold, silver, bronze, what they expect, where it's held at, how many they had last year, who's running it, expected turnout, and just put a lot of time and effort into it, they're going to get my money. As opposed to somebody that just emails me and says, hey, I'm running X state contest. Can you send some goods to this address to be a sponsor? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's all it says. But that is getting off of our route of that there's no money in Yoyo. I can't remember the last contest I was at that had a cash prize. I know BAC usually has maybe, $750 for the 1A winner?
East Coast Masters, dog.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. What did they give? 300?
Yeah, I think it was 300 for the winners of like the 1A and then the Open Division.
And that's, I don't know, that's a start. So that paid for the winner's
it was a
hotel and
regional
maybe gas to get there.
Contest.
No, I mean, it definitely, for the first year, and having a cash prize is a huge plus.
Yeah.
But they also had, I think that they did a great job on setting the contest up, asking for getting everybody to sponsor, putting the sponsorship levels low, asking for cash for a cash prize.
Is that how they did it?
Really,
they specifically
yeah, it was
said
really
off the bat that they wanted to do a cash prize.
They said they were having a cash prize, so that helps.
That's
me
sweet.
As a sponsor send cash.
Yeah.
They didn't. I don't remember it saying exactly like, hey, this is the percentage that's going to it or anything. It just basically, hey, we've got to pay for everything we got to pay for, but then we'd love to have cash prize, basically. So yeah, that helped me obviously go in right away and sponsor, and then it helped that I guess I know Tom, so he was asking, and then also that I was going to the contest, so I was going to have a booth, so I'm definitely going to sponsor.
Right, and that was a fun contest too.
But
I thought it was, anyways.
Yeah, back to the point is that one did have a cash prize, but $300 to a winner is nothing for a professional.
Right. Somebody was saying at the last Boston meetup, it was just after like Worlds had happened, and Kendama Worlds, they said there was like a pretty good sized cash prize for that.
Yeah, Kendama is in the thousands.
Yeah.
Can't remember if it's 10K.
Like 5, 10, or 15. Something
That's
like
a
that.
big range.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big range, but I want to say the person told me it was like 15, but I didn't fact check that.
Yeah, it could even be 15 is the prize pool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But they definitely have better sponsorship, even though Worlds had a good sponsor, in my opinion.
This year or
in Iceland? Sorry,
Iceland
I don't know
with
what
Mountain
they have
Dew.
this year. Yeah, with Mountain Dew. So
yeah, that was pretty sweet.
I think, obviously, I'm not the in part of the National Yo-Yo League board or anything, so I don't know what the rules are behind it. But I do believe that there is certain rules for Worlds that they weren't allowed or aren't allowed, or there's a cap that's pretty low, due to the international competition aspect. But I don't know how you. I think there'd be a way to get around it if that was something that yo-yoers pushed for and supported.
Yeah.
I know Duncan had that huge contest, which is where it needs to be if professional players want to be paid, which was the something championships in Florida. Kind of replaced Worlds the first year it was gone, and it was like $20K.
That's before my
time. You don't remember that? before your time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was a good start, but the contest didn't go over well for, I forget why. But
technical difficulty.
Sponsorship. Did you drop your camera?
Yeah.
But sponsorship, in order for players to get paid, obviously we need sponsorship from outside of the Yoyo community. That's easier said than done always. But I always try to compare it to esports. Esports is way, way larger, but esports is something that I have an interest in and pay attention to. And even some of the contests, they do crowdfunding, which is a good idea, I think. And I'm going to try and implement when I bring back the Showdown Saturday battle, where I think I did the People's Choice last time. Do you remember what it's called?
The People's Showdown, maybe?
People's Showdown. I guess I should say why that's so delayed. Basically, it's delayed right now because Scales and Yo-Yo Expert are having their battle contest. Mm-hmm. So it's hard for me to pull the top players away from that contest to do my contest. I think they would, because there's going to be a nice cash prize, a decent cash prize. But that's not something I want to do, is say, hey, don't pay attention to that contest, do this contest. It's easier for me to just hold off and plan better and wait till that one's done, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
But as far as the crowdsourcing, and that's what I'm going to try and do for this one, because if everybody that watches the contest is willing to, give $3, and we'll say 300 people are watching it, that's $900 extra towards the winner.
True. Huh.
Can I help you?
I didn't know what you were doing.
Podcasting.
I see that.
Didn't you see the studio sign that says on air?
No.
Sorry for the interruption, folks. So that's one thing that I think could be a little bit of a step in the right direction. The second thing is just organizers have to set it up so that they use their budget wisely, specifically ask for money instead of goods, and then price their contest in a way that gets more sponsors instead of less sponsors.
As far as the tiers of sponsorship?
Well, I just think that some contests price you out of a sponsorship right away. There's so many small brands. I think you're better off asking for $100 from 15 sponsors instead of trying to get $500 from 3 sponsors.
Yeah, that's a valid point.
Because I don't think anybody sees it as you're not getting your money back in advertising wise from sponsoring a contest. I think they're just happier to sponsor, and then especially if the players are going to have a chance at a cash prize. So, I feel like this is just me talking.
A little bit.
So our main topic that got us on this for me and you was Gentry.
The Movement Watch sponsorship.
Yes, so
that is pretty sick.
Absolutely. I mean, say what you want about Movement Watches. I have one. I know that they don't use the nicest quality parts. I just got it because I like the way it looks, okay? Mm-hmm. But that is like a huge step, which I guess like Gentry is like the perfect candidate to get an outside sponsorship, whether it was from, like, I always use the example of Monster and Red Bull because they're willing to step out and sponsor, I guess, extreme sports or weird things.
Yeah.
And Gentry is like the poster boy for that, world championship, national title, has a social media following, has a way to promote his brand. He understands that his likeness or his personal image is a brand. So I feel like corporate sponsorships would just love him, and he would have a good chance of getting these sponsorships. I don't know, maybe he's reached out and tried to do it. Maybe Yo-Yo Factory's done it for him and it hasn't worked out. But it is a huge step, I think, for somebody to be willing to work with a yo-yoer like this. Zach was another person that I feel like could have had some major sponsorships and actually been paid to Yoyo as well.
Yeah, he kind of disappeared.
I don't know anything on why Zach disappeared or anything, but I feel like there's a chance for you to stay around more instead of, I don't know, if you're getting paid or can be paid, basically.
Yeah, more incentive, right?
Instead of yo-yoing for hours on end, and you know what I mean? You get some royalties from the yo-yos you sell that if you have a signature yo-yo, but nothing that you could actually turn into, hey, I'm going to pursue this for a little bit instead of going to school to get a job or that type of deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely awesome that he's got that outside sponsor. I looked at their Instagram page.
Did they post him?
No, I haven't seen it yet, but it was just like a few days ago that he posted about it. So
well, I really wasn't sure how they do it. I know I've heard movement sponsors like some Joe Rogan podcasts and whatnot. So I don't know if they really promote who they sponsor or if it's just kind of like that when I don't know if you listen to podcasts. Obviously, you're a podcaster, you should. But most of them are sponsored by different things.
Mm-hmm.
Toothbrushes, watches. I don't know. All YouTube's videos are sponsored by Squarespace or Wix or
yeah. So they've got pictures that fit their brand aesthetic or whatever on their page.
Mm-hmm. Do they have lifestyle pictures or is it all just product pictures?
It's lifestyle pictures that have so say it's a person hiking or whatever and you see that they're wearing a movement watch. Okay. So
yeah, so a photo of Gentry could easily go on there.
Yeah, his photo that he posted kind of had the same sort of vibe, but I haven't seen them post any photo of him specifically on their page or anything yet. I think it would be really
we would have known
awesome, if they did, because I looked at their
picture
page.
of him yo-yoing.
Yeah, they've got 1 million followers on their Instagram page. So they post a picture of Gentry, I always mispronounce that, yo-yoing. That's 1 million people, well, however many people see their posts for the Instagram algorithm, are going to see yo-yoing and be like, huh, that's pretty cool, or whatever, I don't care about this, or,
yeah,
but it gets the image of the hobby out there. It generates more awareness about...
I think even the biggest thing that would do is let other brands see that, hey, we're taking a chance on this dude to promote our product in a different market that's, nothing is promoted to.
Right. So I think a thing that brands would look at is the person's current following on social media. How many followers does this person have? Is it really going to be...
Nobody's getting sponsored by looking at that.
What do you mean? If he only had 800 followers, they're not going to be okay, this guy won.
Well, how many does he have?
He's got
5,000?
No, he's got 14,000.
Okay, which is, I don't know, that's huge for Yoyo, but for just Instagram or influencer, 100,000 is the limit where they start.
Right. So
you can
I looked at
just
some
taking
other...
pretty pictures of yourself, you can get 100,000. Well, I'm not saying that's easy, but I'm saying, you know what I mean? Instagram models or whatever you want to call them, influencers or social media marketers or...
I'm an Instagram model.
If you say so.
Alright, with the sarcasm out of you. I don't know. I thought that he had a pretty decent following among yo-yoers.
No, definitely if he has 14,000, that's huge among yo-yoers.
So I looked at some other big names in yo-yoing. Paul Kerbel's got 9,000. Evan Nagau's got 8,000 or so. And then Thalweer Iqbal from... Where's he from? I don't know. He does 3A. He's got like 45,000 followers.
That's legit. See, that could get you a sponsorship right there, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, I have no idea how much Gentry's making from this brand deal, or if it's hey, we'll give you $1,000 to do this, or if it's all based on just how many times his coupon code's used. But what I was curious about your thoughts on is, do you think that that's the route that pro players have to go if they would like to pursue this as any sort of a job to get reasonable income? Which is, getting brand deals to sponsor them. So that means they've got to be doing all kinds of content and putting the work in first. Or do you think there's a better chance for the community to adjust and start paying players for that win contests?
I think it's tough to say. I mean, as of right now, if they want, like, actual income, they kind of need to either be making some serious royalties off their signature yo-yos or have some sort of outside sponsorship to have money coming in. But I think that if there is more money coming in from these outside sponsorships, it will lead to more money being in the pot. I guess, like, maybe other brands will want to sponsor people.
So you think if some of the top players start getting brand deals...
Yeah, I think it'll...
You think that'll trickle into brands will be willing to sponsor a contest instead of a person?
Yeah, like
you could have...
sponsoring Worlds or, something along
Yeah, well, I was going to say, like, whatever, Massachusetts State's brought to you by Movement.
Yeah.
They say, okay, we're going to send $5,000 for prize pool.
Mm-hmm.
Which would, I don't know, I feel like that's a good start. If you can get a few $1,000s for winning a state contest. I don't know. That seems pretty good to me. But that's on the contest organizers to ask and get a value, which is tough because contest organizers aren't getting paid.
Right. I think it's...
So everything comes back to it's a small niche market that doesn't have a lot of money in it, so it's hard to get outside money to enter.
I think it just needs to continue to grow, and with that growth, and more people.
But how popular do you think yo-yoing could be?
I don't know. I mean, what does that question even mean?
Like, you're saying it needs to continue to grow. I don't even know if it's growing right now.
You don't.
I feel like just as many people bounce out as bounce in. No? I don't even have any idea how to calculate that.
Yeah, how do you quantify?
Right.
I don't know, but like Barstool posts a clip of Evan winning nationals, and people are like, "Damn, this is sick." Maybe that encourages more people to get in. I don't know.
I mean, you could look at like throwers on Reddit, the subscribers, which is always constantly growing, but I don't know how many people are active users.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe if there was a way to look at like a combination of entrants among different contests year by year, and like,
yeah, you could do that.
Just large scale data of like units sold for
I guess National Yo-Yo League membership might be something to look at.
Like,
because if you want to compete in a National Yo-Yo League, might
you
even
have
say
to
that
be
right? National
registered.
Yeah, so number of registrants should show if there's growth or if more people are competing or less. But that was just I guess we went off on another tangent there, but you think money would come in as it grows, and I'm not even sure that yo-yoing's growing.
I think it is.
But I think sponsors would help it grow, because I think more people would pay attention to your local contest. Like, okay, there's a contest in Cleveland. I think more people are going to go when they see it's sponsored by X, and there's a $10,000 cash prize. that's going to bring more spectators in just to see what it's all about.
Yeah. And if there's those bigger name sponsors, then the contest itself will probably be a better production.
Yeah, most likely because they'd have a bigger budget, depending.
Right.
So you think it's on the people? You think it's on the players or the contest organizers at this point?
I don't know. I don't really know too much about what goes into organizing a contest, other than it's a tough job and they don't really get anything from it.
Right. It's mostly people that love yo-yoing. It's been a lifelong hobby that set it up. Mm-hmm. Definitely a thankless job.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
So, I don't know. Until the National Yo-Yo League can... I don't know if it's a non-profit or not. I think it is. But that doesn't mean people don't get paid in a non-profit.
I know the
organizers are getting paid for their time to put effort into making the best contests as possible to become attractive to sponsors, maybe.
It needs to be the best contests possible for the players and the spectators, because obviously a lot of contests have entry fees or whatever. Like,
I think entry fees are 100% yes. Like, all the players, if you're going to go compete, you should be paying an entry fee, in my opinion.
I meant like admission price for spectators.
Oh, I'm not sure.
A lot of them.
I like free admission.
Yeah,
but that's just me.
Free admission is cool because it attracts more people. Paid entry, like $5 for a ticket or whatever, gets more money coming into the contest.
Yeah, but what are you going to get then? You're going to get the moms, or, you know what I mean, that are taking kids to contests. They're going to pay to enter and watch. And you're not going to get Joe and Sally taking their 4 kids from down the street to watch.
Yeah, I guess.
But if it's free,
it's a tough call.
I definitely I don't know. I think players should pay to enter. I mean, even in esports, like, you want to get in the League of Legends League. It was like millions of dollars to get a team spot. So,
the
players don't pay that.
Big too, right?
Yeah, and there's a lot of money in it as far as merch sales, brand deals for the contest goes to the organizations in it too. And it's kind of more like the Bills or Browns paying to get into the NFL. Like, for an expansion team to pay to get in, they got to pay whatever, $1 billion, we'll say. So that's kind of how it was to get in. But I don't think there's an issue for competitors having to pay. Like, even in esports, like in Halo or Call of Duty, you have to pay for a team pass to compete. So definitely should be paying to compete, in my opinion. And that should go directly to the prize pool.
Wait,
which comes down to budget.
Are there contests where they don't have to pay to compete? Because I was under the impression that they always had to pay at least some sort of registration fee.
When I first started paying attention, they might have had some for free. Prices have been going up quite a bit. And then the National Yo-Yo League membership is new, which creates a revenue source there. That's not that much, from my understanding. Mm-hmm. But no, I know you have to pay for a lot of things because I pay for the team's memberships and their entry fees. But I think prices have gone up. I don't know. That's hard for me to say. I think prices have gone up, or it's just the membership fee that players have been complaining about. Sorry about that blank spot in the podcast. It cuts off at 30 minutes. But I was just saying that we haven't really gotten to why we think players can't get paid enough. But we do think it's cool that Gentry is getting paid, basically. Obviously, that's awesome. It's a step in the right direction for us as a whole. If somebody can piggyback off of that. Like I was saying, Evan should definitely have an outside sponsorship. And then I was getting ready to say that it comes down to players creating good content, right?
Yeah.
That could be sponsored by a brand. So whether that is your Instagram, if you can put up whatever it is, it could be anything that you want to be sponsored by. If you market yourself right to that brand, or YouTube or Twitch, any of those things that you're creating content that you have an audience that they can see is getting views, they will in turn be willing to pay you something, at least if you ask correctly. So maybe we're not asking.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? I've never asked.
I definitely
for any of my players.
I definitely think it's a good step, and obviously really awesome for him personally, but awesome for the yo-yoing scene in general, that there's some outside capital coming in.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully it turns into something that, I don't know, pros spend so much time yo-yoing. There's a reason that top players are not messing around me and you on the forums or Instagram most of the time. They are practicing. And it takes a lot of time, and it sucks that when you win a major contest you don't get paid.
Right.
But, hey, be the change, right?
Be the change you want to see in the yo-yo world.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm trying. I'm setting up this showdown. Good things are about to happen, hopefully, with the crowdsource. That kicks us into the right direction.
Hopefully. It'll be interesting to see.
Be awesome. Like, I think we can hit 1,500 for the winner, no problem. Be awesome to hit 2,000.
I think that gives the players a little bit more incentive, too, if they're like, I could win $1,500. Like, I gotta go hard for this.
Oh yeah, for what, four tricks filmed?
Well, I don't.
Yeah, it's worth it. But yeah, so that was a little bit of a topic for us to discuss today. That was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I thought it was a good topic.
I think. Yeah, I don't know. It's fun to sit around and discuss
some
that.
good points were raised.
Yeah. No good solutions. We're not here for that. But at this point, we would answer some questions from the fans that they commented on the YouTube video below. But we didn't have any questions. We did, from the first podcast, have one or two good ideas for the actual podcast. So I'm going to take a look back at those. They weren't specific questions, but they were just talking about, they had specific topics for us to talk about. So that's perfect. We'll try and hit one of those up for episode 3. Thank you guys for listening and commenting questions below. Any criticisms or praises, whatever, Cool.
You know what to do.
Jenkins, you want to sign us off?
Yeah, leave any thoughts below. We're always open to suggestions, questions, thoughts on the general podcast itself, and we would love to hear from you guys. But
Peace.
That's going to do it for us this time. We'll catch you on the flip side. Keep it swirly.
Yee.